So we're on lesson 144, and I am at the Omni Park Hotel in Boston. Just came from this amazing conference on A Course in Miracles. Show up, pay attention, tell the truth, love like crazy, don't forget to laugh. Those are the things that I do in my own life. I show up where people invite me. I pay attention to what is mine to do. I tell the truth about my experience. I love like crazy, and I remember to laugh. So we're going to have another conference next year in Los Angeles, and I can't tell you in words the benefit of experiencing a weekend with the tribe of students and teachers who are committed to A Course in Miracles. It is a benefit beyond measure, and that, there's really no words to say. It takes me to the deep end, and I see so many people having healings, and there's connection, and there's laughter, and it's just a weekend worth getting to. So if you're interested in that, I didn't mean to make this a commercial, but if you're interested in that, connect with me. And the next one is a year away, so there's time to save your pennies and make it happen. And all of the food and the hotel, I think it all comes with the package. So it's run by Reverend Tony Ponticelli from Northern California. It's well worth your time, and it's well worth your dime. But we're going to get into the lesson. This lesson turned into a little bit of a meditative chant. I used a chant called I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. And I'll put a link below this video of the actual artist who wrote and produced that chant. It's stunning. I recommend using it. Okay, let's get into the lesson. Hi everybody, it's Maureen Muldoon, and I am excited to do this lesson this morning. We are still in the review with 144 and continuing the theme of my mind holds only what I think with God. And the review is there is no love but God's, and the world I see holds nothing that I want. If we didn't do 127, there's no love but God's, it would be kind of hard to do 128, the world I see holds nothing that I want. But because we begin with 127, there is no love but God's, and God's love is in everything, it's easy to begin to let go of the distracting, idolatry of the world. So we can be in the world, but recognize that we're not of the world, we're of God, we're of love, and Christ is everyone's last name, Jesus Christ. You can make Christ your last name, and that would be making God your last name, and that would be recognizing you're part of the sonship of love. So we'll go ahead and do a meditation on this. If you like these videos, go ahead and like and subscribe and share it with your friends and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to ask for things of the world when we're saying, I don't really want anything in the world. Come upon these realizations where we begin to practice these principles in all of our affairs. And so when we say the world I see holds nothing that I want, it's not like the world I see holds a couple things that I'm not really interested in, or the world I see has a few things that I'm not really choosing today. But the world I see holds nothing that I want. It is an impeccable, and A Course in Miracles is an impeccable thought system that is kind of an all or nothing. And but let's unpack that a little bit. Actually, the world I see holds nothing that I want. In some ways, you might think that doesn't sound very nice. Like to not want something would be to not cherish it or not value it. And aren't we supposed to cherish and value each other? Well, we can cherish and value each other, uh, but always knowing that it's temporal. Uh, the thing, and we never want to cherish or value something before God. So, because we beings are so susceptible to creating alternative altars to that and getting hung up and strung out and having special relationships and, and dabbling in the addiction of wanting, uh, it would be best if we said, like, no, really, if I have God, I have everything that I need. Now, when we say, if I have God, then I have everything I need, uh, we might begin to, because the ego is so sneaky, we might begin to experience unconsciously a spiritual bypass where, and I heard Lisa Natoli talking about this yesterday, we're like, I'm a spiritual being and I don't need anything in the world, so I don't really need to pay my bills, or I'm a spiritual being and so I have no wants in the world, so I don't need to promote my programs. And that works for the ego really well because I don't want to promote. Nobody wants to promote shit. You think people want to do that? I mean, nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to just share from a place of love. But if we don't have love and law, like nobody wants to pay their bills either. But if we don't have love and law, where I love, to the best of my ability, and also I do the right thing. So the right thing is paying your bills. The right thing is paying your taxes. The right thing is living in the law in the world by the rules of the world. For now, without taking them seriously. And the world has certain rules. So we could think of the world as if we're playing a game. If you're going to play Monopoly, there's some rules. So when you're playing with each other, that you can have a more fun experience if everybody plays by certain rules. And but not to take the rules too seriously, but also not to have some sort of spiritual bypass where you're like, I'm above the rules because I'm a spiritual being. Like that's just that's a way that the ego can help get us into a very limited way of being and seeing. So we all have to live by the rules of the world, even though we're not in the world. And we all have to allow ourselves to be spiritual adults. If there's a place in your world that feels stagnant or stuck, it could be that maybe you're not playing by the rules. And you can take from that whatever the Holy Spirit wants you to take from it and maybe contemplate, like, am I being impeccable in all areas of my life? I don't want anything in the world. I always want God first. But as I am in the world, I will abide by red lights and green lights and jaywalking and not killing people and paying my taxes. And that will help me to have a funner experience while playing the game of life. So, hope that's helpful. Would love to hear what you have to say about that. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. I release control and of love that will heal me. My mind holds only what I think with God. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. There is no love but God's. There is no love but God's. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. The world I see holds nothing that I want. The world I see holds nothing that I want. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. There is no love but God's. There is no love but God's. world holds nothing that I want. The world I see holds nothing that I want. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Slowly bring ourselves back into the experience together, and it's nice to go into a deep meditation. It's hard to come back out. But usually when we come back out, we come laughing like little crazy kids. God is so good, and you are so good. And as we continue to practice contemplating these little lessons, little breadcrumbs that continue to take us back home, you and me, like Hansel and Gretel, have found ourselves lost in the woods. But God goes with us wherever we go. And we follow the little breadcrumbs of A Course in Miracles, if this is to be your path. And we follow it as diligently as possible, and we will have peace. And when we have peace, we will have everything. And that's why the world we see holds nothing that we want. Thank you for spending time with me today. Thank you for spending time with these lessons. Namaste.